It's thinking on my screen. Are we live? I don't know.
It says it, at least on my screen.
Cool. It hasn't loaded on my phone, but I'm assuming we're live. So hello, everyone. Welcome to the celebration live stream for The Legend of the Thief, my book, but also Laura's book and Nellie's book and Kristen's book, which are all coming out and we're all very excited about. To start off, just a quick introduction who everyone is. I'm Mandy Grace, author of 10 YA novels, and counting, always. And obviously, the book we're celebrating tonight is The Legend of the Thief up here. Super excited about it. Who wants to go next? Laura, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Laura Hartley, and I write Christian fiction romance.
Perfect. Nellie, who are you?
Hi, I'm Nellie Wilson. I write spicy, sweet romance. My book releases tomorrow.
And we're very excited about it. Okay, Kristen, who are you?
Hi, Cristen Falconberry. I am the author of the Lenore Legacy Trilogy, which is a young adult epic fantasy.
Cool. Candace, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Candace. I am Amanda's cousin, and I do some cosplays, and specifically lately been doing some cosplays for Amanda and her characters.
Yep. I love that she does this for me. It's the best. Okay, so quick things before we get started. There is going to be a big giveaway at the end of the stream. So if you're watching, be commenting and participating, and your names will be put into the drawing so that you could possibly win all the things. There's, I believe, 3 physical books and then some other goodies that will be part of the whole giveaway. It's going to be super exciting, so be active. We're going to start off with a bit of game time with some Robin Hood trivia, because the book that I've published today is a Robin Hood book. So I'm going to ask some questions one at a time, so you have time to think about it, and then you can put your answers in the chat, and the first person who gets the correct answer will actually win something. I have little bookmarks here of some of my books, so if you get an answer correct, you will get a bookmark sent to you. Also, just to make it fun, if you get more than one of the answers correct, like if you're just the person who's answering all of the questions, you can get better prizes. So if you get like 2 of the answers correct, I also have like mugs, either with like my brand on them or with book covers on them or various things. So that's how this is going to roll. So I'm going to do the first question, and if you know who it is, put that in the chat. So this is just some trivia about the Robin Hood legends at large, not mine specifically, but like all of Robin Hood. So here you go. The first character that you have to guess. In his earliest appearances in Robin Hood stories, this character was merely a hired killer for Robin to overcome. Later, he was consistently portrayed as a romantic rival to Robin Hood in pursuit of Maid Marian. Guess away, folks. And now
Literally everything I know about Robin Hood comes from like the movie, the Mel Brooks movie, Robin Hood Men in Tights. So I'm so useless.
Yes. I believe that is Candace's favorite version. I don't see any guessing yet, you guys. Could be because there's the lag, but could also be because you're not brave enough to guess.
There is a little bit of a lag.
Come on, people. You want my prizes. They're fun.
Manly men.
it never did load on my phone, so that was useless.
Someone is asking if you can repeat the question.
Absolutely. I will repeat the question. In his earliest appearances in Robin Hood stories, this character was merely a hired killer for Robin to overcome. Later, he was consistently portrayed as a romantic rival to Robin Hood in pursuit of Maid Marian. It's not much. Name someone else. I think I made my question too hard. Oh, there it is. It is Sir Guy of Gisborne. Yep. Now the answers are coming in. That's who it is. Yep. Yeah, so in the earliest legends that he appeared in, he was just like this casual one-off, like hired killer dude. And then as the years progressed over the centuries, his character, I don't know, people just liked him, so he became more and more integral to the story. He's huge in my story. Guy of Gisborne is like my baby, and I adore him, and he's huge. So I had to have a question about him. Cool. We're gonna do another one, so get your thinking caps on, everyone. Okay, here we go. One of only a handful of consistently named characters in the oldest Robin Hood stories, he is usually Robin's right hand or second in command. Also, I have a second clue on this one if no one knows what it is. I love the chin stroking.
Would be better if I were still Gilbert today, since he actually has them.
Yes. It's not Friar Tuck, but that was a great guess. I feel like you don't have to know the answer. You could just like name any Robin Hood characters that you know, and you will probably land on it at some point. Oh, wait. I see the answer. It's coming. That's who it is. It's Little John. Good job, Chris. You don't seem very confident in this guess, question mark. But yes, that is correct. So, whoop, whoop. You get to win something. I will be reaching out to everyone after the stream to get information so I can get you your prizes and things like that. So be on the lookout for that. We're gonna do one more just for the fun of it. So get ready. This one is a little bit different. So it's it's still a person that you're looking for, but it's not specifically a character per se. This is probably the hardest one. I don't know if anyone would know this, but anyway, I'm gonna read it. Most modern retellings set the story in the reign of Richard the Lionheart, but does anyone know the name of the king from the earliest recorded Robin Hood ballads? Because it's not Richard. Just start naming kings of England. Mandy, would this be easier for you if we did Disney things? That is the best version. I could just be like, who is the fox? I always feel so awkward in the lag before we get the comments. I'm like, I don't know what to do. No, it was not Henry VIII. Older. They're just older. This is a lovely guess, but this is not correct either. I have faith in all of you. Just put in some solid English names. Henry the Third. No. So you don't have to be so specific on the. Oh, Carrie got it. That's yep. It's Edward. That's the one. Yeah. So it's not actually specified in the earliest recorded thing, like which Edward specifically, but the name Edward is dropped in terms of who the king is during that adventure with Robin Hood. So random fact for you. You all know something, and you know that's good. So that's the end of my trivia for now because I feel like I'm torturing you all. I do have more later if we get bored, but we'll stop with that. So yeah, thanks for participating in that. I will try to reach out to everyone who answered so that you can get bookmarks and things, fun stuff. We're gonna move to the next portion. So keep participating in the comments so that you can be in the big giveaway at the end, but we're going to move on, and Nellie is going to tell us all about her book. Take it away, Nellie.
Hi, everyone. Sorry. I'm here from San Diego, California, where it is very warm today and only humid if you're from here, which I am not, and so it's still humid. I wrote a book and it comes out tomorrow, and this is my baby. So I started really writing seriously early last fall, and I've been writing my whole life, but started really reading romance as an escape during the pandemic because I am a teacher. It was really difficult. I was teaching online, you know, lockdown, and I needed these like really joyous, I know there's going to be a happy ending. I know something is going to work out. And then my brain kept spinning and I came up with ideas. So I actually started writing what is now book 2 during Nano last year. And then these two lovely idiots, Colin and June, oh, there we are, popped into my head and kind of demanded that their story be told. So I put book 1 on the back burner, or now book 2 on the back burner, and jumped into their story, which was initially supposed to be about a 30K word novella, and did not happen. So I kept writing, and eventually turned into a book, and kind of jumped into this whole wild world of self-publishing with the help, of course, of the Hedgie House. It's been really wonderful to do that. So a little bit about the book. My main character is June Laram. She is a teacher. Fun fact, her last name means teacher in German because I am unoriginal. And she's basically about a decade into her career, having taught through the pandemic, deciding like, is this what I need to keep pursuing? Like, it's a really hard job. We've got this career. It's, what do you do? Luckily for her, her students every year in 6th grade go for a week-long retreat at a camp. She's like, great, they're taken care of. I'll use this week to like, you know, disengage, recharge, and figure out what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, turns out the camp has a new director, and he is not an old, kind of like crusty hippie guy. He is a elder millennial hot understanding guy, and through a series of circumstances, they get drinks the first night, connect, make out, and then she goes, oh no, I've got this like thing that is kind of in the way of me figuring it out. And so it's them navigating this relationship. Hello, Herman, that's my dog. Navigating their relationship, also her kind of like reflecting on what it means to be an educator right now. Also that idea that like in your early mid-30s, like, are you stuck with the career you've pursued? Can you change it? Is it fine? What do you do when you're leaving this very specific world of education? Which is kind of the life I'm in right now. And so it was like a very therapeutic book to write. I won't give away the ending, but it's romance, so you know it's happy. It is definitely open door. So if that is your thing, great. If it's not, there are many beautiful closed door books out there. Open door just basically means you see everything that happens in the bedroom or couch or other things. So they're both really delightful, really lovely. It is the first in a kind of created fictional town. The town takes place in, that she teaches in, is a version of the best parts of Boulder and Fort Collins, Colorado. I did my master's degree in Boulder, but then they head up to a town that's based actually where I first moved to California. I moved here 10 years ago in January to start working at a YMCA camp as an educator. And on day one, through a series of happenstances, ended up meeting a guy who lived in our staff house, and he's outside with our friend because it's still my partner of about 10 years. So I think camp's a really wonderful setting to fall in love. There's a lot pulled. I have to firmly say that it is not us. We are very different than these characters. But it was a really therapeutic book to read, and then it kind of opens the world into this. There'll be 3 books coming out next that are about 3 best friends who work in a museum together, which is what I did teaching. So I get to use that education and experience to write those books because I'm clearly not working in a museum now. But it is, I don't know, it's getting really wonderful feedback so far, which is blowing my mind. It's cute, it's steamy, it's real. Another thing for me is I didn't see a lot of romances talking about COVID, which I get it. It's an escapist genre, and a lot of people were kind of just operating like it was either before the pandemic or so far after that life had returned to quote unquote normal. But for me as an educator, there is really no going back to that. I think we've got some other educators as authors on the call, so you can validate that maybe. And so it felt for me really important to bring that up, that this was something that mattered. This is something that like fundamentally changed this career that everyone in some way has been around. Either you know a teacher, you went to school, you can't really escape that world, and it's been fundamentally changed and shifted. There's also some cute little vignettes about students throughout the whole thing. And then the other thing that really was motivating for me in this book is that I find a lot in the romance genre that teachers are kind of this like cutesy, sleek, nurturing profession, which is great. I know a lot of teachers like that. But it is also not just a character trait, right? Like it's this career that we develop professionally and we work really hard in. And it's not just there to like cue that the main character is quirky and likes kids. Like there's some reflections on what does it mean to be a teacher and be a flawed human. And I think for me, it was really important that we showed teachers, you know, doing things like drinking, doing things like engaging in adult relationships. Because in a lot of places, I've heard this from readers, like teachers are held to kind of an unfair standard. And I'm worried, you know, like personally, like I'm a little worried about like feedback, like I'm being a little like too real. But, you know, I've got this one phenomenal reader who's like, yeah, if me and my teacher friends go out in town and like grab a drink, like we'll hear about it from parents. And for me, it's really important that like we kind of demystify the education profession, talk about it as something that is serious and difficult. Thank you, Kelly. But also realize that like at the end of the day, it's a career, you know. June is definitely one of those teachers who's grading till 8 p.m. and spends her weekends going to like student performances and student games, and that's really takes an emotional toll on her. So reflecting on that as well. I, however, am a 3:31 teacher who leaves the minute the bell rings, and I'm like, I don't know, I gotta go write this steamy scene and disappoint my family. Actually, no, my mom read my book today, which was a wild journey of her live texting updates of her experiences with the book, but she liked it. So yeah, those are my kids, my lovely camp idiots. I love that Colin, who's our male lead, refuses to wear anything but his hiking sandals, and he wears them with socks repeatedly. And my lovely, amazing cover artist, who is Sam, she's at Ink and Laurel, and she's like basically taking over Romance Landia for covers. She's beautiful. But she even included his like little dorky hiking sandals there. Oh, no, wrong one. I don't know. These go back right there. Little dorky hiking sandals and socks. So yeah, it's available tomorrow, August 10th, which is National S'mores Day. Yay! You can get paperbacks from Barnes & Noble or Amazon. ebooks on Kindle, and it's also on Kindle Unlimited because I'm trying to ball on a budget with my life. So I'm all about like binging as many books. And like, I think personally, my Kindle Unlimited has taken money from Amazon. So I think it's like a general win as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that's my book. That's me. You can find me on, so socials are in the description. I'm at Nellie Writes. Yeah, that's me.
Yay! We're so excited, Nellie. Also, I just love the title of your book because it's adorable.
I was posting about that today. It was actually not the original title. I had a very long, complicated camp reference title, and my best friend was like, "That's not gonna work. It's not gonna go well on like socials. You're gonna be able to find it. Doesn't really make sense if you didn't work at camp for 2 years after college." I was like, oh, "Okay." So this I love puns, and it's another defining feature of Colin and his sister you'll meet, is they both love puns, and he is repeatedly showing up in shirts with terrible camping related puns. So that's another. Ex-museum educator, yes. So Colin's sister, Phoebe, who you meet, and she'll get a book eventually, is she is the education director at a museum. Her best friend is the history curator. The third in their trio is an exhibition designer. So those are the next 3 books are kind of getting into that world, but with Colin and June still popping up from time to time as well.
Nice. We're very excited for all of this. Tomorrow is Nellie's release, so go crazy tomorrow, like on her Instagram, and make her feel loved. Also buy her book, because we're all very excited about it. Laura, if you're ready, you're next.
I don't know if I'd ever be ready, but I can go. My name is Laura Hartley, and like I said earlier, I am an author of Christian fiction. I'm like a full-time mom, and I feel like I'm a part-time writer, but really that just means I write really slow. So I started writing back in 2009, and I didn't publish my first book until 2017. So yeah, that was a long time. I can't do math, because once I started being a mom, I stopped counting. Okay. Anyway, so I published A Home Within the Wilderness in 2017, and then immediately started working on the sequel. But I write really slow, so it was gonna be published in June. But as I was writing and everything, I really realized that my voice had changed so much in that 4 years that like the prose like just didn't even match anymore, and it was like 2 different authors wrote it. So I joined this like writing group called Quill and Cup, and I met these people that call themselves hedgies, and I told them about like my weird idea to rewrite my book, and I thought it was so strange. And then I met Mandy, who's rewriting like, are you rewriting 8 or 10 or all 10?
It's 8, just 8.
Okay. So immediately I felt like, okay, she's rewriting 8 books, I can rewrite 1. It's no big deal. And then, so I got that republished in May, and ended up giving it away for free to all my subscribers on my newsletter, because really I just wanted them to have like a reminder, because it's been so long of like what these characters had been through. So now they're up to date on what the characters are doing now. But I don't know. I always think it's kind of interesting, like where people get their ideas for stories. And mine, because I was not really a writer, and I didn't really do well in school. I just lost my headphone and my phone. 1 second.
If you would like to know what 80% of me teaching online via Zoom was like, it was that.
Yeah.
I got you.
Great. So I was not a good student, and I dropped out of college because I couldn't write a paper. and I stole it off the internet and then made a C. So, yeah. Anyway, so when this idea came to write a book, it was like insane, right? But I really felt like it was coming from the Lord. I'm a Christian, and my heart was for people to know Jesus, the real Jesus, not like Jesus of the media or Jesus the way some Christians might want you to see him, but I just wanted you to see like how he's really at work. Like when he talks to people, what does that look like? When people say, I heard God, like what does that really look like? And when they say that they have faith, like what does faith mean? Is it blind faith? Like what's the difference? And so anyway, it all kind of like just started with questions. Like if I'm going to write a book, who is going to read it? And if whoever those people were, like, what do I want them to know? And so what I really wanted them to know was that God loved them and that they had value, and didn't matter like what their story was or what they've been through, but that God would be there and that he loved them. And so that's, I guess, kind of why I lean towards writing Christian fiction. But my characters are not fluffy Christian perfect people, you know? So I feel like God is kind of like this other character, and you see him in my books, and he's working in and through them and talking to them and things like that. But my characters are people who have had an affair and cheated on, they cheated on their wife, and mistress gets pregnant and he leaves his wife. And so then we have the main character, Elizabeth Green, who has like only one remaining relative, and so she just goes to live with him in Point Blank, Texas, at Lake Livingston, and she works at his marina for him. It's her Uncle Leo, and just kind of like as a fresh start, like nowhere to go. She doesn't have a job, just kind of, he's like her last resort basically. And it's this little marina that has these like rental properties on the lake and some cabins for short-term rentals. And it's mainly elderly retired people, so it's not like a place for a young woman to go and meet people. But I mean, I guess God had other plans for her while he was there, and so it is a romance. So there is like a mysterious tenant who moves into, he's like in leather and he's got tattoos, and he lives in the pink house up the road. So yeah, there's him. But I don't want to tell you too much about it, because everyone who's read it has told me it's the surprises that they enjoy. So I'm kind of just keeping the rest of it kind of up for your imagination, I guess you would say. But really my heart was just to show real people in situations that are painful, and how God is working in those situations, so that if you find yourself in that situation, you can also see how God is working in your life and what he might be doing behind the scenes when it feels like he's this like big mysterious being, creator of the universe, whatever. But and it might be hard for you to understand. So this can hopefully bring light to the ways that he works, and yeah, just give you hope. That's the idea anyway.
I love it. I love all of it. Also, it sounds like the people in the comments also love all of it.
Good.
Remind me, your book, the sequel comes out August 6th, 19th? 6th?
It comes out August 19th. I just have the proof copy. It's called Arrest Upon the Way. Both of those are from a hymn called Beneath the Cross of Jesus. Those were just lines that when I heard them spoke to me, and they just both fit the story. So yeah, the series is called Beneath the Cross of Jesus, and there are 2 books. The second book is coming out August 19th, and pre-orders are live, and the links are on Instagram for that, which I might be hard to find, I hear, but I am, my Instagram is Laura_Hartley, TX for Texas. Yeah.
Cool. Just a reminder, I have put it in the comments a couple times, but everybody is linked in the description box. So if those of you watching aren't following them, or want to go check out their books or whatever, everything should be in the description box so that you can find them on Instagram. You can go straight to their books and buy them and pre-order them and all the things. So everything should be there. And if it's not, let me know and I will add it as soon as the live stream, pops back up for a replay. So it should all be there. Cristen, are you ready for your turn? Because you're up next.
I guess. Always ready, I guess. So like I said earlier, both Cristen Falconberry, I know last name super long, kind of hard to spell. My students love it. I am also a teacher. I teach high school English, and I will start my explanation by saying that I started working on this novel way back when I was in high school. I've been teaching for 10 years now, so it's been a very, very long journey to get to this final copy. The Lenore Legacy is the first in a young adult epic fantasy trilogy, and book 2, A Fractured Legacy, is coming out in September, on September 9th. So they're both in my hands, which is crazy. So the Lenore Legacy follows Princess Rosalind Lenore, as she learns the difference between myth and truth in her world. She ends up finding dragons. She meets some elves along the way. She goes on quite the adventure. There is a very slow burn romance that culminates throughout the entire trilogy. So definitely closed door, definitely young adult, and definitely very slow burn. So I'm trying to think what else I should say other than, sometimes I'm a person of very few words. Trying to think. You guys talk about various things.
Would it help if I asked you some questions?
Yes.
Like, where did your titles come from?
Oh, the titles. Okay, so the titles ended up happening when I studied abroad in Spain during college. And so like various street names, various artwork that we went and looked at. Eventually, I don't remember exactly where I saw the name Lenore, but I was like, that fits really well with Rosalind. She has a last name, finally, after like 10 years. She has a last name. So that's how we ended up with the Lenore Legacy. And then A Fractured Legacy is based on the plots of what happens in book 2 and various things that go down. And yeah, that's where the name came from.
I love that. I have never traveled outside the United States, but I would love to. So I was very jealous when you said, when I studied abroad.
Yes.
Someday.
I also just put it in like our chat, but my main character is an English teacher who studied abroad in Spain. It's her 10th year teaching. I think you might, like, you don't have red curly hair, but like you might be June.
I don't know, maybe.
It's like having a lot of moments.
Right. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Yeah, and I teach at a small school, so like the pandemic didn't hit us as much as it did some of the larger districts and stories that I've heard. We had our own set of difficulties, of course, and that's actually when I pulled this back out and was able to finish drafting it. That's when I started looking for beta readers and realized, because at one point this was all in first-person POV, and people were like, but what about this character and this character and this character? So then I rewrote it in third-person POV, so it is multiple character POVs. You have Rosalind's POV, you have the love interest, Charles's POV, and a few others as well. So, yeah. Lots of POVs.
I am a huge fan of multiple POVs.
Yes.
I don't know that I've ever actually written a novel that doesn't have a lot of POVs. Too many, really. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, all of the characters.
Yeah, I actually had to thin this one down. There's one character's POV that I ended up cutting before the final publication because he only had one chapter and we learned that information in other places. And I was like, as much as I love this chapter, I really do love that chapter still. I have it saved somewhere and I'll use it as bonus material at some point because I love that chapter. But it wasn't necessary for the final publication. I should add, there are also dragon POVs in this. Yes. 2 of the dragons get their own POVs, which were the hardest scenes to write, but also the ones I'm the most proud of.
I love that. You just like dropped the biggest selling point right at the end. Dragon POVs,
Yes,
like
dragon POV.
I am very excited now to read them. I actually this was very sad. I ordered everyone's books because I was planning on like having them up here. They're all coming tomorrow, so that didn't work out. But anyway, I'm very excited to read your book with the dragon POV. Eventually, someday in the future, I do have a book with the dragon POV in it, but I have no idea when that will be published because I'm a little focused on other things right now.
Yeah. I mean, like, I love dragons, and my plan is anything I write will have dragons in it in some form or fashion. So like my current work in progress, urban fantasy murder mystery, the female main character has a pet dragon. Because why not? Why not?
I love that so much. Dragons are the best.
We're changing your name to Khaleesi.
But like not last season Khaleesi, like early
season.
Yeah.
like season 2.
Yep. All right, cool. Is there anything else you want to add, Cristen?
I see Rebecca asked me a question about how being an English teacher has affected the way I write a book. That's an excellent question. And I mean, I've been teaching English for so long that I just take it for granted how my brain works on various things. And so I don't know necessarily what I might do differently than other people. I do know that part of my editing and drafting process is to leave things sit for a while. I would do that with essays when I wrote them in college. I was that person that wrote the essay ahead of time, left it for 2 days, and then came back to it. And then, so which is probably why it took me 10 years to get the final publication of this one. And other than that, I mean, I am my own worst critic when I go back through and edit, and I am ruthless about what do I need to take out? What do I need to add in? Stuff like that. Like I treat it as though it's not mine anymore, as though I'm reading somebody else's story, and what feedback would I give them if I was their reader? And so it helps to disassociate from, well, this is my baby. I love everything, which is also true. But I also want it to be the best reading experience. So
I literally like printed mine out full hard copy and red penned it like I would like a student's paper. Mm-hmm. And at one point I was like, why didn't you finish this scene? And like finish this sentence? Like, what are you doing? Like writing questions myself. Yeah.
Yep. I still have the folders of my original printout, the one that's still in first person POV with all my random notes and my places where I'm like, I need this character's POV. I need this character's POV and all these different things. So, which is a fun process. I love the editing process, like way more than the drafting process. So I'm probably weird in that way, but that's fine. I love editing.
I am not that way. I'm learning to enjoy it. I don't hate it anymore, but I'm not like editing is the bomb. Like no. Elsa would agree with you though.
Yeah, I love taking what's already there and making it magical. And so like it takes less thought for me and it's just fun to do. So
cool. I love all of that. Anything else you want to add? I don't want to cut you off.
I think that covers most of it. I will have a spin-off book based on it'll be in the same world. It'll come out, I think, next March. It's already done and I already have the cover, so I might move that release date to a little bit earlier. Yeah, I'm getting the proof copy this coming week. So yeah, and that one, it follows one of the characters that he gets stuck with the dragon for a while, and so you go back in time to see what happened with him in the earlier years. And then book 3 is drafted. My plan for that is for it to come out next summer because it still has a long way to go because it's just been drafted. I haven't started my editing process on it. So lots coming. And I'm excited to get the whole trilogy out and share more of my stories with the world.
Yeah. I can already tell you have a new reader in Candace. She's like shaking over there. You said dragons, and she said, sign me up.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Cool. I guess it's my turn now. So I'm going to start with a little bit of explanation as to what on earth this book is and what's happening with it and why it's being published all of a sudden. And then I'm going to make my cousin show off her cosplay because she is dressed up as one of my characters. So we'll do that after I explain all the things. So I know a lot of you are already aware of the fact that I originally started publishing under the name Amanda Grace. So I wrote this book called Lucy's Legend when I was 17 years old, and then just decided to self-publish without any idea what that meant. I Googled how to self-publish, and CreateSpace, which was the precursor to KDP, popped up. And I just clicked on it and rolled with it and then started publishing things. So that, hold on, I'm going to show off. This is a little embarrassing, but so this, scooch this way, was the original cover that I did all by my lonesome. It's delightful. Anyway, but yeah, so I published Lucy's Legend, and then I continued writing in the Robin Hood story and was publishing lots of them. There's 5 Robin Hoods in the Amanda Grace stuff. And then I also did a dystopian trilogy in the Amanda Grace stuff. And then eventually I switched to writing under Mandy instead of Amanda. But originally I left all of the Amanda Grace books alone. And so I just had my new books, Return to Sherwood and Return to Grace, under Mandy, which was a little confusing for my readers because the original Robin Hood series was Amanda Grace books and the sequel Robin Hood series was Mandy Grace books. And there was a little disconnect there that didn't really make a whole lot of sense. So eventually, I started wrestling with the idea of like moving my old books to Mandy. But for a long time, I really didn't want to. I was like, we're going to create some separation here and pretend those books don't exist. Mostly because I wrote Lucy's Legend when I was 17, and the writing is nothing like the way I write now. Like I just so much growth. It's insane. So for a long time, I was just very embarrassed by my original books, and I was okay with the separation and confusion. I was like, you don't need to find those books. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And then almost a year ago, I joined this little writing community called Quill & Cup. And our head coach and Mama Hedgie, Anya, asked me where she could find my books, or like if she could read my books or something. I don't remember what the exact question was, but I panicked. Like I actually freaked out, and I like stopped breathing for 3 seconds and was like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing anyone has ever asked me. What if she reads them and then she hates me and then she's going to kick me out of Quill & Cup? And like, it was not good. So then following that like panic session, I sat down and like considered why I had such a violent reaction to someone asking about my original books. So at that point, I started like processing the sort of embarrassment and what I've now grown to know as my writer's ego. Just started thinking about why I was so embarrassed by what young Mandy had done and all of that. And then through Quill & Cup, we do a lot of working through killing your writer's ego and talking about acceptance and like various things. And so over the few months in the beginning when I was in Quill and Cup, I was doing a lot of just like personal growth because a lot of the like killing the ego and being accepting and content and like all the things we talk about. They weren't just for my writing. Like I was applying all of it to my life as well and just becoming a better, more well-rounded human because of this writing group. So yeah, eventually I reached a point where I was okay with young Mandy. I was like, she did this thing, and that's actually freaking cool. Like that was cool. She published 8 books. Like what? That's crazy. So yeah, I reached a point where I was definitely. I'm gonna try really hard not to cry. Yeah, I was I was good with what I had done. So I decided I was gonna go forward with moving everything over to Mandy. And when I decided to do that, I thought I might as well rewrite them, but not from a place of like the originals suck and I need to make them not suck anymore, but more in a place of like, I now have the skills and life experience to tell the story that I was trying to tell when I was 17. So that has been a wild and emotional journey, and I'm really not going to cry. Anyway, so yes, The Legend of the Thief is the Lucy's Legend book, but reimagined a little bit. The plot and the characters are for the most part exactly the same, but there's just more of it. I I need you people to really understand the like more concept. So the original book with front and back matter and like everything in it is 42,000 words like altogether. And the new book is in the 90s. So, you know, a slight jump. There was a little bit of a jump. And the main reason for that is in the original book, there's a lot of dialogue in white space without descriptions. So a lot of just like making the scenes actual scenes just really beefed it up. But I have actually added a couple of scenes. So Lucy's character, which is, you know, on screen right now for you all. In the original book, she comes in halfway through the book, and that's just all you get is the second half of the book. So in the new version of the book, she is actually introduced much earlier so that she and Marion are both main characters throughout. So that's a huge change. While we're talking about Lucy, Candace, do you want to walk us through what you did and what you look like and all the things?
Sure, I suppose so. Well, obviously, if you know me, you know I'm wearing a wig. Because this is not my hair. So Amanda sent me a request, what was it, a month ago? And asked if I would cosplay as one of the characters for this live stream. And was like, if you could do one that's on the cover, that'd be cool. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I took a look at the cover and I was like, well, the Archer will probably be easier because I have half of that already. Yes, that is what these are. It's my Archer gear. But the main piece that was on the Archer was this really cool hooded vest that, you know, was kind of long and tailored, which is probably really hard to see on screen, but I'm doing my best, guys. So it had some detailing of like a different color that went through and goes all the way down to the hem. And I was like, let's just go through my stash. Let's see what we've got in my fabric stash. And I was like, these colors, they work. We're just gonna make it. And so then I did. And I'm really proud of how it came out. I'm very proud. I like finished it and like put it on the mannequin and like put it on with like the shirt and the skirt. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's almost an exact replica. I'm so proud. So proud. And I honestly, the color matching was probably my favorite thing, because I have a lot of fabric in my stash. But yeah, I had the perfect shades to match the tones. I'm very proud.
I absolutely love it. I love that you're also proud of it, because when you sent me the first photo of like, this is what it looks like, I was just blown away that the costume looked exactly like the cover. I was just like, what is the, she's magical. She's a witch. I don't know, but this, it's just freakishly cool. So I love that you did that for me. You are the best. Anything else you want to say about, making things, or are you good?
No, I think I'm good.
Cool. We are nearing the end of the stream. If anyone has any questions, I guess, for any of us, feel free to put them in the comments. In a few minutes, I'm going to summon the people from downstairs who have been collecting names for the drawing, and I will draw the big giveaway winner, and that will be the end of our stream. So if you do have questions or anything you want us to chat about, drop them now, because shortly I will cut you off. I'll give you a couple of minutes though. For the giveaway, I'm giving a signed copy of The Legend of the Thief. And I believe Cristen and I don't remember who all. Is everyone giving a book? Are we all giving books?
Yes, I'm giving a book.
And then Cristen has candles, which I think is the coolest thing ever. Oh my gosh. When she said she would give candles, themed candles for the giveaway, I was just like, that's the coolest thing that's ever happened. I need them.
Yeah.
There's a floating bowl.
So I can talk about the candles a little bit too, if you want me to, because they're character themed for Rosalind and Charles, which are the two main characters in the Lenore Legacy. Charles is scented like mountain and snow, and it references he's a bit mysterious, or he's holding a lot of secrets that Rosalind spends most of the book trying to get him to share. And snow because she thinks that he always smells like snow. And then Rosalind is wildflowers and sunshine because she spends a lot of time in the garden that her father curates, which is for specific reasons that would spoil things in the story. So I won't say what purpose the garden has. And sunshine because Rosalind always tries to look at the positive side of things, even when everything starts crashing down around her. So those are the themed candles.
I love that so much. I am obsessed with candles. I have so many candles. It's a little ridiculous sometimes. Bookish candles are like absolutely the best. And I love your candles.
Oh,
You want to see? I'm not actually at my home, but my sister knows me very well because she brought a collection of candles for me.
there you go. Yeah, I have the Dragon's Breath burning behind me right now, and I love that one. It smells so good.
I love it. Okay, I was given the mysterious bowl of names, so get excited, folks. Someone's gonna get a lot of books and candles and fun things. So, oh boy, here we go. I feel like I need a drum roll. Someone give me a drum roll. Yay! Okay, you're all muted, but that was a great drum roll. Okay, are we ready? Are we excited? Okay, I'm gonna mix them up. I feel like I saw a couple names when I was looking at it, so I feel like that was cheating. Okay, here we go. We're doing it for real this time. What do we got? This almost feels like cheating, but Rebecca, my sister, won the giveaway. Well, there you go. At least I have an easy address to get, things to. So there we go. That was the that definitely almost felt like cheating. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's okay. So that's all I had for the live stream. I appreciate everyone who showed up and hung out with us. All of the books that are coming out are linked in the description, as I said, and you can follow people on all the social medias and things. Nellie's book comes out tomorrow, which is exciting. Everyone freak out about it. We are so excited about that. I don't have anything else, so I think we're gonna say farewell for now. Thank you for being here, everyone. We love you. That's the end. Bye.